Welcome to another QuoteWorks 101, our regular series of short presentations giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of QuoteWorks. And on this session, I'm just going to share a few ideas on how you can use QuoteWorks to improve the speed in which you get paid to get paid faster. So, hello, my name is Tim Wilmot and my company Wizard Systems. We're a specialist CRM solutions provider who helps small and mid-sized organizations improve their sales productivity, marketing and customer service through the use of simple and affordable solutions like QuoteWorks. So this presentation will be fairly short, about 10 minutes or so, going over how to get paid faster by using QuoteWorks. Just really an overview of some of the features, not meant to be in-depth training on some of these areas, but my company Wizard Systems, we offer lots of different help options if you want to explore those with us. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got a question, please pop that into the question box on your meeting control panel, and I'll do my best to answer those at the end. Also at the end, I'll give you an update on the latest QuoteWorks product news as of 1st of September 2020. And this call is being recorded. So after the presentation, you will get an email from our system with a link to the recording that you can play back as many times as you want to. And it will be on our YouTube channel as well. Just go to Wizard Systems up on YouTube. Okay, just a quick mention about my company, Wizard Systems. So we're a supplier of QuoteWorks and other leading CRM solutions that integrate with QuoteWorks, and we provide the complete package around QuoteWorks. So any kind of help you want around QuoteWorks, including the product and upgrades and integrations to other applications, we provide all that. And any kind of training that you may need, that's provided online at the moment. During the current pandemic. So if you've got any requirements for training, please contact us. And ongoing support as well. If you have any query, you just call our friendly, responsive help desk service. Okay, so let's get into QuoteWorks then and a few ideas on how to get paid faster by using your quotation system. So I've prepared a quotation already in QuoteWorks, and the first thing I wanted to explain was the look and feel of your quotation. So obviously with QuoteWorks, you can have a number of different quotation layouts, and we've covered this on a number of previous events on how to customize your quotation layout to make it really professional and good looking. And I think with a good-looking quotation, you're making it clear what the customer gets, so there's no misinterpretation. There are no calls going backwards and forwards about what does this mean, what does that mean. It's quite clear what the customer is getting. It looks professional as well, as a good indication of the corporate image of your organization, and it answers all their, hopefully it will answer all their questions, because after all, the quotation is there to help the customer make a decision quickly about your products and services. So that's the first thing I wanted to say, is get a good looking quotation through the layout designer. Next point. I just pop onto the sale information tab. We've got the quotation expiry date here. Now, by default, you can set that up in your options to default at, say, 30 days. But of course, you could change that to reflect a shorter expiry date. So the user could do this, or you could set it up again in your options if you wanted to maybe change from 30 days and bring it down to 15 days to see how that might work with improving the speed of the decision of the customer in making a decision on your proposal. So look at the quotation expiry. That can be defined as a default in your under your tools menu and options. Next, quotation terms. There's a little drop down list there where you can define any other terms that you require for, say, payment. So is it within 15 days of the invoice, 30 days of the invoice? So setting those expectations from the outset, because maybe the quotation is the first bit of paperwork that your customer is going to get from you. And then setting the scene right from the outset on that quotation within a payment terms element on your quotation, again, might improve the payment processing of your proposal. So that's payment terms. Next, you could also, in your company, offer leasing. Now, there are some leasing payment options you may want to explore with QuoteWerks, but it is possible to include on the layout an automatic calculation of a lease purchase. So rather than the client purchasing your products and services outright, maybe you partner with a finance operation, a leasing partner, and you've got favorable terms by selling their leasing services. That could be included on the quotation as an alternate to the customer paying outright. They could then pay on a monthly basis or maybe a quarterly basis, but you're going to get paid from the leasing company normally within about 7 working days, as long as everything, as long as the payment, as long as the supply of the products and services goes through without any hitch, you will normally get paid quite quickly from that leasing partner, from that leasing company. So potentially lead with leasing, depending on what market sector you're in. Maybe include a leasing purchase option on your quotation, as well as an outright purchase, a leasing purchase. The other thing that you can define in QuoteWerks are some custom payment options. I've got one here set up already for an example of being paid via PayPal. So PayPal are processing the payment. Maybe you offer a little bit of discount because you're going to get paid a little bit quicker by going through that PayPal route rather than a traditional invoice route. So that can be set up under your tools, and then you go down to options, and then we have payment over here. This is where we can actually define these custom payment options. So I've set one up already for PayPal there. I could add in another one where I'm then prompted by QuoteWerks for what type of payment this is going to be. So there's the standard ones that you get there, but there are a couple down the bottom. If you think of, or you have in your company, a particular way of getting paid, and maybe it's going to encourage the client to make a payment quicker because of some kind of a discount or something, then you can actually pop that in there, and that will then be presented to the user when they're going through the quotation process. It can also then appear on the quotation layout that goes to the customer. So I've got this existing quotation here, which comes to a grand total of just over £31,000. I've ticked this little box here that the customer can purchase via PayPal, and that will automatically be included on the quotation layout that goes to the customer. So if I click on my deliver button here and select one of these layouts that does have that displayed, so I'll just do a preview of this one. So we've got a multi-page layout here. I'll just go to the third page, and let me just zoom in here a little bit. So down here, we've got that PayPal benefit, that PayPal option automatically included with the quotation, so that the customer can see that if they purchase via PayPal, they're going to save nearly £4,000 on that particular sale. So look at the payment options that you may offer, like leasing payment options, to encourage a quicker decision and a quicker payment by your customer. Right, other things to consider. The conversion, of course, with QuoteWerks, as the product name implies, it's essentially a quotation tool, but you can also convert this transaction into a sales order or an invoice. That could trigger some quicker process. So by having that built within your quotation tool, maybe it just saves some time in that payment process by, once the customer has made a decision, quickly converting it to a sales order and or maybe just going straight to an invoice. Perhaps that just saves you a little bit of time in getting the invoice out. Also, we do with QuoteWerks integrate, now these are options, but we can integrate with other billing systems like QuickBooks, like Sage, like Xero. So if you are using those accounting systems, those billing systems, we have additional, in fact, the QuickBooks integration is included as standard in certain editions of QuoteWerks. But if you are using Xero or Sage with some additional software that we can supply to you, you can then quicken the process of converting a quote to an invoice in those systems, thereby improving that payment time, hopefully, with you. And talking about integrations, you can integrate, of course, QuoteWerks with a number of leading contact management and CRM solutions. So here are the main ones that we integrate with. We've also got integrations with Sage CRM and Workbooks CRM, but that could potentially improve the payment process as well by having visibility of that quote in your CRM system, by managing interactions and call follow-ups in your CRM system. That could improve things there as well. So integrate with your CRM system. Of course, QuoteWerks can stand alone. It can work with Outlook, but it is designed to link with a number of those leading CRM solutions, which could provide you with some extra abilities to track the interactions and make sure these quotes are followed up. And in fact, when you save your quotation in QuoteWerks, if you're linking to one of those CRM systems, QuoteWerks can actually provide a prompt to the user to automatically schedule a follow-up phone call in a certain number of days' time to make sure that every single quote is followed up within your organization. Final thing I wanted to mention is another optional add-on to QuoteWerks, and that's called Quote Valet. Quote Valet is an online delivery and sharing option for QuoteWerks. So in the normal way, you would be, in the traditional way, you would be saving the quote and then you would be emailing the quote to the customer. Of course, that can all be done as standard through QuoteWerks, but with the Quote Valet option, you'll be able to push this quote, put this quote online into a secure area where your customer can see it. You send an email to the customer in the normal way. That email includes a secure link for the customer to go to the Quote Valet site so that your customer can see your quote and authorize it and confirm that order all online. So by using Quote Valet, if that's appropriate, if you think your customers would benefit from seeing a quotation online for them to interact with and put down comments and choose which options, and then provide an electronic signature to confirm that quote, then look at Quote Valet. We have covered this on a few of our other QuoteWerks 101 sessions. We're sure to cover it again, but it's a very popular add-on to QuoteWerks, using Quote Valet to share your quote online to improve how quickly you get paid and processing your quotation through there. So that's just a few ideas for you on how to get paid faster with the QuoteWerks quote tool. As we normally do on our weekly sessions, if you've got any questions around this, please pop those questions into your meeting control panel. I'll do my best to answer those. And then I'll give you, in wrapping up, I'll give you a little update on QuoteWerks. So first question from Shane. Do you link with Sage 50? So Shane, I would assume that you're in the UK. So yes, we do link with the UK version of Sage 50. So you can create your quote in QuoteWerks, and that can be converted with the additional software we provide. That can be converted to an invoice in Sage 50 without the need for retyping any information. What's more, the status of that transaction is put back into QuoteWerks so that we know, as in my little demonstration, I showed the conversion to an invoice. We know the status of this quote. It's no longer an outstanding quote. It will no longer appear in any sales forecast. So a great way of keeping all the systems up to date with minimal input, no retyping of information to get that quotation through to your accounting system. So UK, yes, there is a Sage 50 in the US and Canada, but that is confusingly a different product in the US marketplace. So we are, so UK Sage 50, yes. Tony, can you prevent people giving away too much discount? Yes, you can. Well, we actually covered this last week or the week before on our regular weekly sessions. There is a quotation approval process in QuoteWerks, so you can set in the options for a user that they can't discount below a certain level, or if the quotation goes above a certain value, or the margin goes below a certain percentage value. That I guess is what you would be using. So that's called document approval or peer approval in QuoteWerks, all built in. I'll send you the link to that session that we did, I think it was last week or the week before. Right, don't think there's any more questions coming through there. So just to keep you in the loop, all our training is online at the moment, live and online. So if you want an interactive session with one of our trainers on any QuoteWerks topic, please contact Wizard Systems with your requirements. The latest build of QuoteWerks, we have there the version 5.5, and then we get these little builds within the version. So it's 5.22. It's been out now a few weeks, and we will be covering that on future webinars, and also QuoteWerks themselves do provide a pretty comprehensive webinar on all these new builds also. How do you get updates on QuoteWerks? Well, you've got to have an upgrade maintenance program, or UMP for short. You can get that from Wizard Systems, and that's just a simple annual payment to make sure that you can be up to date with your QuoteWerks application. So that's it on our session today, 1st of September 2020, how to get paid faster by using QuoteWerks. If you've got any suggestions for future topics that would be of interest to the QuoteWerks community, we'd love to hear from you. So you can email me, tim@wizard-systems.com. There's our other contact details there as well, and pop up to our YouTube channel, Wizard Systems, where you'll see a whole load of other QuoteWerks videos and CRM related videos as well. So thanks very much for your time, those listening live. Have a nice day, and we will speak to you soon. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.